Hello and welcome to Farmer's Kitchen. You hear the sad puppy in the
I
background?
hear a sad puppy.
What's the matter with Moses?
He's sad right now.
He escaped. You know, Pyrenees, they kind of like to get out and go. And so we had to put him in a smaller pen because we got to kind of fatten him up.
Yeah.
So he can't get through the woven wire fence.
He learned to go through.
He's not happy right now.
No, he's not.
But we'll let him out a little bit. It's beautiful out. It's nice. A lot of things are blooming. We took advantage of what I call a seasonal jelly. We made dandelion jelly. It's delicious. It's got its own taste. There are all kinds of things you can make spring jelly out of. Probably the most common are the violet and the redbud.
Right.
And we made all three, and each one has a very subtle, distinct flavor.
It does.
The reason I call it a seasonal jelly is we are not pressure canning these. These are quickly put into the jar, into the refrigerator, to be used in 2 or 3 weeks. And if you want to give them a little longer life, put them in the freezer.
Or I've been giving them away.
Yeah,
too.
several months. But it's wonderful.
It really
is. It's that time of the year. So in a little while, we're going to take a little walk in the woods, identify some plants, some edible, some not. Just a naturalist notebook, if you will. I started that, gosh, what, 20-some years ago.
Wow.
Way back when. We're going to reinvigorate that.
Okay, sounds interesting.
But first, you know, I always thought when I'm mowing in front of the sheep, they look at me like, you're wasting all that good food.
That's right.
So sheep, incredibly, are easy to herd.
Yes, they are.
Just like the old proverb. So we're going to bring them up into the yard and let them mow it, pre-mow it before I actually hit it with a lawnmower.
Good idea.
Let them get that wonderful sustenance out of that grass. So first thing we're going to do today is turn the sheep loose.
Sounds like fun.
All right, let's get them. It's a two-person operation.
That's right.
I got my Bo Peep staff. My buddy Benji got me this.
I love that.
We're going to open this gate. Now, the girls have a routine. They know where they're going. But, you know, I use this. I don't crack them in the head or anything. But all I got to do is kind of like let them know, you know, kind of bump them in the tail and they'll move along. Look, they're ready for the routine.
They know.
They're going to go up and pre-mow.
That's right.
So when it comes time to get back in, now we're letting them out right in the open.
Right.
So what's the trick to get them back in, Nikki?
They love corn. They will trample me for corn to get back in.
Shake a bucket.
That's right.
And they'll go back in. Now today they'll end up in Arkansas. Ready, girls? Let's go. Now they're all free, wide open. Every now and then they like to run and go crazy, but they are free. But would they relinquish their freedom for anything? For a bucket of gold or corn? That's the only way you can manage these critters. If it wasn't for corn or sweet feed, look at them. Totally free, totally loose, totally wild. Watch what happens when she beats the bottom of that bucket.
Hey, girls.
Come. And just like that, they have been bribed. That's why they call them sheep. Now we're going to make another small batch of our seasonal jelly. And again, this is not to keep around through Christmas. Now, if you wanted to pressure can it, that'd be a whole different story. This is just a quick and easy batch for the next couple weeks, and boom, we're done.
Right.
All right, Mrs. Farmer, we had a late frost, and it just about ruined this tree, but we got plenty of trees right down the hollow that are good to go. So we're gonna take about a cup.
Yeah, need 1 cup.
We need 1 cup and we're good to go.
Yes.
Small batch. Now, these are good to eat right off the tree.
They really are.
They really have a nutty, even sweet taste. All right, we've been freezer diving.
We have.
And we found lots of good stuff in there. What did we find?
Flank steak.
And we had a big bunch of broccoli.
Yes, we did.
Oh, let's think. Beef and broccoli.
I got rice.
And we got rice.
That'd be perfect.
What are you gonna do? Who are you gonna call? This was so good that we had this last night.
We did.
you can make a dish like this in your own home and it's going to be as good as anything you can get in the restaurant.
And you did it so quick. I was starving within an hour.
It is
I had
quick.
food. Yeah,
it's really quick. We're going to do a quick marinade. We're going to set this aside. Then you're going to do your Redbud jelly. Now, something we keep around here is we keep hoisin sauce, oyster sauce.
Yes.
We also have some Bangkok peanut sauce, which has got a great flavor and a little bit of heat, some ginger. We keep fish sauce. Now, this sounds strange, but man, these flavors are so subtle and so wonderful in certain things. That's some things that we keep around. Obviously, soy sauce and some dry sherry, some things like that. Sesame oil is a necessity.
Oh, it smells so delicious.
You smell it right now.
Yeah, I smell it.
So I'm going to make a quick marinade and let that set for about a half hour while she makes her Redbud jelly, which is really pretty much the same thing as the dandelion jelly and the violet jelly, but each one has their own particular taste. It's very subtle. The dandelion jelly is very honey-ish.
It is.
That's good.
It is.
We could actually put some of that in place of honey in this recipe.
You could.
But what we're going to do is we're going to take our flank steak. We're going to cut thin slices against the grain. Now, we had this last night, and it was very tender. It's a good cut.
Delicious.
So I'm just going to cut this like so, and then I'm going to cut these up into smaller pieces. But again, flank steak against the grain. Because you think the grain is going this way, so you don't want to work against that. You've already got this wonderful meat.
They're doing perfect, aren't
they? It's perfect. And there's what we have. Then I'm just going to cut these pieces into, you think about a bite-sized piece, what you want. All right, you could use beef tips, but flank steak, to me, works really good for this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my meat. I'm just going to pop it in this bowl. And I'm not measuring this, but I'm guessing as far as ingredients. I'm going to start with my oyster sauce, at least 3 tablespoons. And let's come back with some soy for our salt. I'd say at least a tablespoon and a half for that. A little bit sesame oil, just a little bit of honey, sweet.
Like honey.
Just a little bit of dry sherry, a little bit, just for that bite.
That smells good already, just what you're doing.
Now I'm going to mix this up real good. And there's so many ways you could do this. You could start with your broccoli and set it aside. There's so many ways of thinking about this. Then we'll put my cornstarch in. Okay, that's probably, I don't know, I didn't use a whole tablespoon, a little over ½ tablespoon. Let that get all nice and coin it in there and set that aside, and you're going to make your Redbud jelly.
Yeah.
Again, one of our seasonal jellies. They don't last forever. In fact, we sit down and have them with a snack. Sometimes she'll take some cream cheese and pretzels. Oh,
do that tonight.
my. All right, let's set this out of the way. Sometimes you get something that kind of wakes you up.
Right.
A couple weeks ago, a lady posted something, and we had this on last week's show. She said, hey, not everybody has been cooking their whole life. She said, I wasn't raised in the Walton's house.
That's right.
And it really stuck home. A lot of the stuff that we do that we think is so simple that we gloss over, we're not going to do that anymore. We're going to show you some sides. If you already know how to do it, that's great. But a lot of people out there are telling us, show some simple stuff on the side. So we're going to do that as well. Now, as this warms up, we're going to take a walk in the woods real quick, identify some plants. Some of them edible, but some of them are just spring plants that you might walk by and say, hey, I know what that is, or do I? So we're going to identify some plants on this week's Naturalist Notebook. So when you walk through the woods, you look down, you look around, and you see a plant. A lot of times you don't really pay that much attention to it. But today let's look at some things that you might have seen and you might recognize. So I think one of the most beautiful plants we see this time of year is Trillium. Now a lot of people call this toad shade, but this is just the local Trillium that we have here growing in our woods. It's got a dark flower on it and it doesn't smell real good. The next thing I came upon was some wild Phlox. Pretty little flower you see growing around the woods on occasion. And the next very distinctive plant is a cutleaf toothwort. And if you ever get into these, you'll know it really quick. This is Marsala Greenbrier. And if you get into these thorns, you're not gonna like it. And here's what Nikki picked for one of her jellies, which is a common blue violet. They're just about everywhere. And a lot of times we identify these as onions. People call them onion grass, all kinds of stuff, but it's really a wild garlic. And it's a species of onion. And it looks just like what you grow in the garden. and you can use it for an edible plant. Here is some garlic mustard. This is an edible plant. You can eat garlic mustard. You can use the leaves. They're good for you, full of vitamins. Now, in my woods, I saw a bunch of these. For those in Ohio, this is a Buckeye tree. And we actually found a yellow violet up in the woods as well. Here's a picture of that. Here's an invasive species called thistle. This looks like what they call bull thistle, and we have quite a bit of that around here. This is your common blackberry. We have these everywhere. This fall, hopefully, we will gather some of those up and make some jelly. This is a May apple. A lot of times you'll see big stands of these. Every part of this is poisonous, so do not attempt to eat any part of this. Now, when the plant comes out with this little fruit, only when it's really, really ripe is it edible. But I kind of stay away from those. That's a May apple. And that was our little walk in the woods for this week's Naturalist Notebook. All right, we're back. We got boiling water. What happens next, Miss Nikki?
This is exactly like the dandelion jelly, except we're using redbuds. And I like this one better because redbuds are easier to pick and I didn't have to cut them.
Now look at the violet. And you know, it depends on, you know, we got more purplish violets. Some of them are more blue, but that's almost the same color.
Jelly.
And here's the dandelion, which, oh, yum. And here's the redbud. And each one of them has their own subtle flavor.
They do. All right, we're going to start with 2 cups of water, bring it to boil. We're going to put in 1 cup of whatever you're using, redbuds. If we were doing violets, it would be violets, exact same, but we're doing redbuds. We're going to pour that in and let that boil for 3 minutes. Once it's boiled for 3 minutes, we're going to drain it just like we did the dandelions and squeeze down and get
strain it.
Yeah, strain it down and get 3/4 of a cup of juice. We're going to take that, put it back in the pan. We're going to add 3 teaspoons of the Sure Gel to it, about a tablespoon of lemon juice. I'm just going to squeeze a little bit in here, and then we're going to put in a little bit of the vanilla. We just kind of shake in a couple shots of that. Get that boiling. Once it's boiling, we're going to add our 1.5 cups of sugar. Boil 3 minutes, and we got jelly again.
That's pretty simple. It's really simple.
You know what it tastes like? Kelly just said cotton candy. It has a cotton candy taste almost.
It's really good.
Yes, it is. So this will make us 4 little jars.
Somebody asked last week, if you only have 3/4 of a cup of liquid, how in the world do you come up with 16 ounces? Well, the main ingredient in this really healthy deal is sugar.
1.5 cups sugar added to
Don't
that.
forget the sugar and a
Yes.
little bit of pectin. And there we have it.
It's that simple.
Now it's going to set up. We're going to pop it in the refrigerator, and then we're going to enjoy some in just a little while. All right, so I'm going to cut up just a little bit of ginger here. We're going to take a little bit of oil, not a lot. When this gets nice and hot, we're going to take 2 cloves of garlic, and we're going to pop in this oil, and we're just going to get that flavor in there. Then we're going to pull that garlic out. We're going to throw it away. So we're going to pop our ginger in here.
That smells good.
But we're not pulling the ginger out. The ginger stays. So now, Mrs. Farmer, in comes the beef. Now, what am I going to do?
Make it hot.
Just a little bit of red pepper flakes, just to have that nice.
You like your red pepper flakes.
Oh man, you do too.
I do.
You just don't like too
as many as you do. I don't like as many as you.
Just a little more oyster sauce.
That stuff's good.
Just a little bit. And a little more sesame oil.
I like sesame oil. You can add all that. Got a great smell.
Look at that. Look how
crisping up.
Oh, are you kidding me? You know what, Mrs. Farmer?
What?
Keep an eye on that for a minute.
I will do it.
I gotta get my broccoli ready. And I'm gonna need some red pepper. We'll just put just a little bit of onion in this.
That sounds
This
good.
is a yellow sweet onion. So look what we got here. Look how that looks.
Oh, it's delicious.
Beautiful. Got just a little bit of pink left in there, but look how it's browned on the outside.
Looks nice.
Oh my! See what we got going?
I like
Isn't that
it.
beautiful.
Very beautiful.
So what's next, Mrs. Farmer?
Peppers.
Peppers, broccoli,
Some onions.
couple onions. I'm just gonna mix that all up. Try to get our broccoli cooked in there. And boom, there you go. We had beef, we had broccoli, but since we had all those other sauces that we always keep around here,
yeah, that's delicious.
look what we can make in, what, 10 minutes?
Yeah, that was quick.
It's up to you, Mrs. Farmer.
I get to try some? I'm gonna put a little meat and some rice.
That's a beautiful one-pot dish. Boom. It's good.
Very good.
That makes me happy.
Very delicious.
That's really good. We got a little heat.
That's really good. Delicious, as always.
Just one pan, boom, we're done. We got this. It's as good as any restaurant.
Oh yeah, delicious.
Speaking of restaurant, we have a friend in the restaurant business. Got some really bad news not too long ago. I thought I had all kinds of time to talk to my buddy Dani about so many things. We'd go in there and we'd have long discussions.
You guys are great
We'd
friends.
have fun. So tonight we're going to remember Dani. He's a great cook, great
Yes, he
guy.
was.
Came to this country to escape oppression. It's a wonderful family.
They are.
And I want you to know Dani. If you haven't seen this, I just want you to meet Dani. And let's remember him tonight, where he was at his best in the kitchen. Man, the guy was amazing.
Oh, he was.
Here's our buddy Dani. We're in Lawrenceburg today with Dani at
Dani.
Verona
Verona.
Pizza.
Yes, sir.
Let me tell you what, I came for the pizza, but I stayed for the meal. Everything here is delicious. How did you get to Lawrenceburg, Kentucky? Where'd you start from and how'd you end up here?
My journey started in San Diego as a cook and moved myself up from starting as a new immigrant to the U.S.
Now from where?
from Albania.
Albania.
I'm Albanian.
So San Diego to where?
To Las Vegas.
To Las Vegas.
Las Vegas, last 23 years. 2015, moved to Lexington, Kentucky.
Now, some of the people you've cooked for over the years, Coach Calipari
Yes, I did.
recently,
Yeah.
and he likes your cooking
Yes,
a lot.
he likes a lot of my cooking.
So here we are now, and you're cooking. You can cook anything,
Yes.
and everything you have is wonderful. But today we like simple recipes, simple, tasty recipes. What are you gonna do with your chicken today?
I'm gonna prepare one dish, chicken marsala. It's very simple dish, but it's absolutely delicious.
Okay, where do you start?
We're gonna start first with the pan. You know, we will heat the pan, right temperature. Put the olive oil, and we pound the chicken,
Gotcha.
season it,
Thin it out.
thin it out.
What do you season it with?
I put the black pepper,
Black pepper.
salt, both sides. Put just a regular flour. Leave it saute it and leave each side about between 2.5 3 minutes until they get that goldness. Matter of fact, this one is ready. We add up a little bit more oil. We put the mushroom, fresh mushroom has to be. Let it a little bit saute until they get soft. Add a little bit of salt, so it will soft. It will dry that water will take it out of the mushroom. A little bit regular dry, just a drop, just for a color. Marsala wine.
Gotcha.
Now to thickness the sauce, we can do butter.
I like what you did there. Just a little bit of
A
flour and
little
your
bit
butter.
of flour, so
thicken
it will thicken it out the sauce. Then stir it slowly. Chicken stock or chicken vat, whatever you want to call it, maybe a scoop. There we go. And I usually serve my chicken masala and linguine bed, you know, with a side of pasta or linguine. Just heat it up, just soften it, not heat it, just to soften it out. A little bit of fresh parsley. You can see they start thickening already. If you think there's not thickening enough, what you can do, you can add up a little bit more flour. We can add up the chicken now. It's almost done. So it can get that masala sauce in it. I put a little bit of dry parsley just to look. We'll put the linguine. Here we go. I'm gonna hold the chicken, the sauce. Now we just pour it.
Mushrooms are perfect.
Mushrooms are perfectly fine, tender,
Oh.
nice, beautiful. we're gonna put the asparagus, if you prefer. And
Look at that.
there you go. We got the chicken marsala here.
Beautiful. How about one more recipe?
You
How about
just
some chicken
prepare?
piccata?
Definitely. I'll
Just
be
as
more
easy?
than glad. Just as easy as the marsala. We'll do the same thing what we did with the olive oil a little bit. We grab the chicken, pound it same way what we did with the first one. And same thing we do the flour. You don't have to put salt or pepper in this one because it has to be more chicken stock than a chicken marsala, so it has their own salt. You can put a little bit, but not as much as chicken marsala. There we are. We'll leave the same thing about 2-3 minutes. Okay, now we're gonna turn the chicken the other side. Same thing what we did earlier. And let it get that color gold. We'll put the chicken stock. We'll put a little bit of pepper, a little bit of salt. I put the sun-dried tomatoes. And we'll put a little bit also of butter so we can thicken the sauce. Also, with the flour, a fresh parsley. We'll do same thing with the capers. This is the most important for the piccata. Not much, maybe a teaspoon, half of a teaspoon, or you can pour a little bit of white wine and let it thickness a little bit, and we should be good to go. A lemon, I need a lemon. There we go. I'll do with the linguine also this dish. Okay, put the chicken in. Maybe a couple more minutes, and it should be ready. Asparagus, I serve asparagus with it. We're gonna do the same thing now, a little bit of dry parsley. We'll lay the linguine also. The sauce is almost ready. I'm gonna pour the sauce. So it has to be a little bit rainy, like I said. And we put the chicken. There you go.
Look at
And
that.
asparagus. So we got another dish, chicken piccata.
Beautiful. So, maybe every spring when we do Redbud jelly, we'll remember Don.
That's right. I think we will.
And he would love this.
Oh, he would.
And you know what? When you smell this, it has its own unique flavor. It's not like the dandelion jelly.
No, it's not. The kids would like this. It's like cotton candy. We put a little, and I thought this might be a good way. This is the way Lisa.
Now we don't have any brie, so we're doing
Cream cheese.
poor man's brie.
But this makes it even better. So we'll put a little cream
This
cheese.
is our dessert. So we're just
That's a
gonna...
good dessert. We're kind of being healthy with the
Now
pretzel.
that jelly's a little hot because it was sitting next to the stove while we're cooking, so it's a little runny. But
Yeah.
look, ooh, I'm gonna make a sandwich here, Mrs. Farmer. Look at that.
I could just eat. That's good. And with the salty pretzel, that's perfect. That's a perfect appetizer.
That's gonna be a gooey mess, and I love it.
Yes, it is.
So, Mrs. Farmer, 1/2 an hour has zoomed by. We
Yes,
had
it
a wonderful dinner. We let the girls out.
That's right.
They ate some grass. I'm gonna have to mow tomorrow.
You know, you have more
Excuse me.
boys than girls now with all those babies.
That's true.
The girls and the boys.
We had a good day.
We did.
Sun was out, but alas, it's over. So if somebody's looking at all these recipes and think, how can I get those recipes? Mrs. Farmer, is there any way for them to get
There
those?
is. You go to timfarmerscountrykitchen.com.
And we have all kinds of stuff there. How-tos, so on and so forth.
right.
Wonderful recipes of just about everything.
Oh, yeah.
We have 200 gazillion or 400 gazillion recipes.
500 gazillion.
Wow,
There's
that's
a
a
lot.
Facebook, we do have a Facebook page. We want you to be there with us, but
That's
it's
right.
really hard to get on. What do you have
That
to
is
do?
hard. You hit like.
That's it.
Yes.
So,
Difficult.
Ms. Farmer, we're going to have to wrap this up. But it's all about
Good times
good friends.
and good eat.
We'll see you next week on Tim Farmer's Country Kitchen.
To order a cookbook, email timfarmerck@gmail.com.